Okay, cool. We'll get it rocking and rolling here this morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. We have a good turnout here today, and today we're talking about how to improve your business. I'll kick it off here for us. I think one of the most obvious, important ways to improving your business is getting on these calls, get involved, join our mastermind sessions. We've had a great couple sessions here to kick off the new year and a lot of great information shared in here, as well as it's just a positive energy. So keep it up for those who have been on the calls. For those who aren't joining us in the mornings, put it into your schedule and start joining us. This is a great way to learn some tips, tricks, and stay motivated to help improve your business. With that being said, I'm going to hand it over here to Uncle Tim, and he can give us some of his thoughts.
Okay, thank you, Brooks. And I'm glad you brought that up first about getting on these calls because, again, the more we share ideas and information and how we do things, the more successful we will all become, and it will actually help us improve our business. In order to improve our business, we have to recognize and realize that every day we start out at zero. We're not getting paid at the end of the day if we don't do anything. So, if you want to improve your business, you have to realize you're starting out at zero and you have to do something, or the Michael Jordan slogan of just do it. You got to do something today in order to improve your business. And when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about some of the things you have to do to improve your business. And one of the items would be to start, like my father was talking about, we were talking about in the last call, keeping track of your numbers and getting pre-qualified or getting more organized, not pre-qualified in this case, but getting more organized. And I had an agent that reached out to me this past weekend, and we talked about keeping track of the numbers and doing that. And Kong, I know we used to have the daily record sheet, which I want to gather that and send that to everybody today, which I can do that. But do you still have the script book that's scanned that we can send to everybody also, the
Yep.
scripts? And then the other question that the agent and I were talking about were, do we still have a numbers tracker that you kind of developed on the Excel spreadsheet that, you can kind of plug in your numbers for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it would accumulate those so that everybody knew where they were for those that want to get more organized and keep track of their numbers.
The numbers analyzer,
Yeah.
yes.
You kind of created one of those, right? Okay.
Actually, it's funny because Dave White and we just went through it in our last coaching call, maybe like a week or so ago.
Okay. Well, if you can send that to me, I'd like to get that out to everybody, and that way, those that want to get more organized and keep track of their numbers to improve their business can do so with that method. I also was thinking about how you can improve your business, and we always get a lot of resistance from this, but it's improving your skills. And it's funny, the Philadelphia Eagles, which we're a big fan of, um, are heading to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. Now, do you think they're just going to party it up for the next 2 weeks? Or are they going to practice and continue to refine their skills so that in 2 weeks from now, they can upset the Kansas City Chiefs? They're going to practice, they're going to refine their skills. So we need to improve our skills. So, how do we improve our skills? Number one, if we send you this script book out that we're talking about, Pong, if you have that digitally, the first thing you should do to improve your business is to read the scripts. Okay. Read them and read them out loud. Then learn how to chant them so that you can kind of memorize them and then role play them. Now, I think this past week or yesterday, actually, Kathy, we had a bigger turnout than normal. And we had some people join us for the role playing sessions. And we'd invite anybody who wants to get involved to get on the role play sessions and come in on Tuesdays. What time is that, Kath?
8:30.
8:30, and you're going to start doing that downstairs in the conference room?
Yes.
Or the training room? The training room. Okay. 8:30 on Tuesdays. So if you ever want to get involved with that, you can role play the scripts. So again, we need to write them out, memorize them, internalize them, chant them, role play them, and then learn how to deliver those scripts with a great presentation. And a great presentation is not just knowing the words, but I know Shelley, you and I talked about this the other day, and my dad, he would agree on this, but and Donna Fleetwood used to say, you got to learn how to deliver the script as if you're an actor. You got to smile, you got to raise your eyebrows, you got to tilt your head, and you got to invite those people in to want to give you their business. And when you can do that and you can draw somebody in, you're more likely going to close the transaction, especially with people you don't know. You're already going to get the people you know. But when you start working with people that you don't know, and you can do that, and you can learn those skills, guess what's going to happen? You're going to improve your business. So those were a couple of the things that I thought about.
Tim,
Yeah,
just so the role playing is Monday and Thursday at 8:30.
Monday and Thursday.
Monday and Thursday.
Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. The other thing that you can improve your skill is when you walk into your appointments, walk in being the authority. You're the expert. Be confident in what you're going to deliver, the information that you're going to deliver. Walk in and, if you're the kind of person that introduces yourself or says hello with a handshake, give them a good solid handshake. If you're a person that's a hugger, I always laugh about my friend Mary Eberly when she was in the business. She was a hugger. And for those of you that know Mary Eberly, every time you've ever seen her, I guarantee you, Bobby Stevens, she would give you a hug, wouldn't she? There he
Yes,
is.
she would.
And when Mary Eberly would give you a hug, she meant it, didn't she? She squeezed you. She made you feel part of something, and that always was good for her. And she was able to get a lot of business because she was a very affectionate person with her hugs, I feel. But so Paula and Sue, you knew Mary Eberly. Did she give you guys hugs?
All the time. Absolutely. Yep.
All the time. Yeah.
Yep.
And Shelley, we talked about that the other day, and you said you're a hugger. So, that is it's a great way to start out and improve your business by going in, seeing these people, giving them a hug, giving them a solid handshake, and being there in the moment. So I think that really helps. The other thing I think a couple things that we need to do is we need to, as listing inventories are starting to grow and you want to improve your business, and they're growing because they're not selling, is we got to get back to basics on talking to our sellers, at least the listings that aren't selling, once a week. You want to improve your business? Communicate with these sellers. Let them know what's going on in the marketplace. Let them know what's sold and what's not sold, and tell them the truth. Tell them the truth and what they need to do in order to get their home sold. And when you start doing that, especially if your inventory is increasing, you're going to improve your business, because in order to make money and improve your business, you got to get it sold. And if the things aren't selling, there's a reason. And everybody knows what the real reason is. The real reason is price. So for instance, we call it the ridiculous close, my dad and I. We learned this from David Norberg years ago in the Mike Ferry organization. And if a property, let's say, is worth $400,000, and it's listed for $400,000 and it's not selling, and you're getting showings on it, nobody's making offers. If you said to your seller, if we put this property at $200,000 today, what do you think the chances are of us getting an offer, and how many offers would we have? if we reduced it to 200,000, and the people would, sometimes they get mad, and sometimes they get, we call it the ridiculous close. Oh my God, of course somebody's going to buy it at 200,000. Okay, good. So what if we were to have it at $300,000 today? What are the chances of us getting an offer today if it was $300,000? And they might say again, oh my God, still somebody would buy it if it was 300. Okay, good. So if it was 350 today, do you think we would get an offer? And as soon as they start to hesitate, and they will, you can say, so if you're hesitating at 350, why do you think we're going to get 400? And you take that ridiculous close and you draw them into realization that obviously it's not selling at 400, and we got to get it down to a different price that's going to cause it to sell. And when you learn the skills on how to deliver that type of presentation, guess what's going to happen? You're going to improve your business. And that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up today. I think another way of improving our business is to be more aware of what we're putting out on social media. You know, if you're a party and you're whooping it up and there's some pictures out there of you that really shouldn't be out there on the internet, you might want to take those down. You want to clean up your image, because I guarantee you, if somebody's going to interview you for the job of selling their home, they're going to check you out. They're going to cross-reference you. They're going to look you up. So, like Paula was telling us a little earlier about, she had a professional picture done, which was on the internet. She got a lot of great compliments on that picture. She got a lot of good compliments because, one, it was professional. Two, she looked fantastic in it. And three, it's the image that you want to portray to the public, that you are a professional, you look professional, you act professional, and that kind of stuff. So I would recommend that if you want to improve your business, that you work on your image and you work on the content that you put out there. If you're going to put out there videos and reels, make sure that they're good. Make sure that they look good, they're clean, and that it will help you get more business. As far as trying to improve your business, Brooks and my dad and I have been talking about this a lot over the last couple of weeks, is we, along with you, all need to get back to attending more seminars, reading more books, listening to more audio books, listening to more podcasts, getting involved in more Zoom calls like we're doing right now. You need to schedule something. And maybe we talk about that next week and we say, okay, everybody that listened to this call, watched this Zoom call, or participated in this Zoom call, did you go out and look for a seminar and commit to it that you're going to attend? Like, for instance, Bob Hubler and I talked the other day, and he's going to the R4 convention in Vegas in February. It's a great convention. You can learn a lot going to the REMAX convention, and anybody wants to go to that convention, he's going to be going to that in February, the R4. My father and Brooks and I are looking at the management retreat for the Mike Ferry organization in May. One way or another, they still haven't posted the date on it yet, but when they post it, we plan on making arrangements to go to that seminar so we can learn more, so that we can help you with management of the company. Our old coach, Kevin Eldridge, was texting my dad and I Saturday night about the 50th anniversary of the Mike Ferry organization, and how they're going to have a big reunion in July out in Vegas. And they're trying to get a lot of the old timers that were with Mike for years to come back and attend that event. And, you know, it's certainly something we want to look at too. Brian Buffini typically holds a seminar every year in Richmond, Virginia. We've gone to that seminar before. We've taken anywhere from 18 to 22 people to that seminar. And it's something we want to check out the dates and find that. But again, the whole point is, if you want to improve your business, you've got to make an effort, like we said last week, to get up a little earlier, to read some good books, to listen to some audio books, and commit to some learning with these seminars. And that's one thing we're going to do this week. And we're going to tell you next week which ones we've decided to do. Another quick thing that I wanted to bring up before we open it up for discussions is if you want to improve your business, surround yourself with big thinkers. You know, dream big. Sherry Anderson got me that picture one time about think big, dreaming big. You got to do that. And you have to surround yourself with the people that want to do more business. Uplift yourself with being with those people and associate yourself with those people. If you see seminars or groups or meetings, I know regardless of whether or not it's a meetup with investors or flippers, or if it's a um, meeting with Morgan, what's some of the organizations that you get involved with? Chamber of Commerce, those type of things. I mean, you've done those for years. Morgan, why do you go to those Chamber of Commerce meetings, and what does that bring you?
Well, I've always been involved in a bunch of boards. I actually say that's the turning point of my business because I was so young. And so they always say you have either time to invest or money to invest. And when I started, I had time and not money. So I sat on a board vacancy that I was asked to replace on the Chamber of Commerce, which led to like me being on the Economic Development Authority. I was one of the founders of the West Young Professionals. I was involved in, and now I'm involved in organizations for my kids' school and sports. So I just think that making those connections and being involved, my A++ top referring family, I sit on the board that they founded. So,
Right. Yeah.
It comes in full circle.
So getting involved in these boards and surrounding yourself with big thinkers or dreamers or different types of organizations will certainly help you improve your businesses based on what we're talking about today. Kong, what kind of things do you think we could do or someone should think about doing to help improve their business?
Well, it's a year since we've done the forms, and I think we can start going over the forms maybe once a week for an hour again, bit by bit, page by page, and get that knowledge back so it's in our head, it's ingrained. If you haven't used it for over a year or really thought about it, where certain clauses within the contract, you may not remember things.
So understanding the forms better and being able to use them will help improve the business. I know we had an agent this past weekend, or actually it was at the end of last week, was dealing with another agent, and the agent was trying to put a clause in the contract that it had to do with a swimming pool, that they wanted to force the buyer to give up their rights to any potential lawsuits in the contract with regards to a swimming pool that couldn't be evaluated at this time of the year. And we told our agent that absolutely do not allow your buyer to sign something like that. And the fact that they're bringing that up just makes you nervous to begin with, that they wanted to put that kind of language in. And what was really crazy about it is it was the agent writing the language. It wasn't like an attorney writing the language. So we had an agent from another company that was writing this kind of language. And Kong, we got to be really careful about it with the language when it comes to what people can write and not write into a contract, knowing that really what we're supposed to do is fill in blanks.
Yeah, it's already in the contract. So
yeah. Yeah.
I still have agents giving me offers, FHA or VA, and using the appraisal contingency.
Yeah. So, yeah. Bobby Hubler, if I can, I know you go to a lot of seminars still, and to help improve your business and continue learning. And what motivates you and drives you to continue to do that?
Well, the connections it make, and I just got I got about
a good dozen Christmas cards and stuff. And I met this guy at the last R4 I went to, and I actually referred him to my brother's house, and he did a fantastic job, and he closed it. And I have, a bunch of these connections that because somebody's like, hey, looking for a house here, or I got a referral or something. It's making these connections, then stay in touch with some of these people on Facebook, and then they hit you up, say, "Hey, Bob's a great guy in this area." So I picked up one or two referrals this last year from meeting people out at R4, and just with other conferences that I go to, I know people in all sorts of nooks and crannies all across the United States. If somebody comes down and says, "Hey, do you know anybody over in this direction?" "Oh yeah, I got a friend that I've known for 15, 20 years that, here they are, that they can answer different things and that." So it just it's always, you might not be doing business with them today, but you might be doing business with them tomorrow. And just with my bank conferences, people are like, how can you afford to go to all these conferences? Because they cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 by the time you put in the conference, airfare, and your hotel. I'm like, well, how can I afford not to go? Because you never know who you might get introduced to. You stick tight with your friends, and then they may introduce you to somebody that they're doing business with that I'm not. Or it's just more or less like, come over, "Hey man, how you doing?" Just saying, "Hey, we're out here. Yeah, I know we don't have anything in your area, but when it comes up, it will we'll give it to you." And what I'm finding right now, a lot of the people who left out of my industry with the bank foreclosures are coming back in, because with COVID and everything, it all dried up. Now it's coming back. And the one guy, there's like one or two of them. Anything that's in my area, they're sending it over to us. So, and I've had these relationships for 20 years, even though that they disappeared, now they're coming back. But it's just going out, meeting people, being out, being seen, and just being active at our VFW. Last year, I pulled at least 2 deals out of the VFW, because we do a lot of work there, and just like Morgan's involved with different community events. It's just knowing people, and then they refer you because you're on a board with them. You may have never done any business with them, but they know you, and they'll be happy to refer you out. So, being out, being seen, because on the one REO group that I'm what they call the state master broker, and a couple of the Pennsylvania people, they're like, "Wow, the group's not bringing me anything." And I'm like, "Well, when was the last time that you went to one of the conferences where they bring in the clients to the conferences?" "Well, I don't go to the conferences." Well, you're not being out and being seen. If you're not being out being seen, they don't know who you are. It's when they know who you are is when you get the business.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was speaking to Jennifer King the other day she works at Remax at Reading, and I had asked her if she was going to R4, and she told me she wasn't planning on going, and then she reminded herself that she typically gets about 12 referrals a year, either incoming or outgoing, that she works with agents that she's met for years at these seminars, and that she can't not go to this R4 event
Well, it's
because of
really
the seminars.
funny. This one girl, her last name is Vodka. So she was going around with her little postcard and said, "This is where I'm at." And she had the little mini bottles of vodka on there. So it's just like that sticks out with everybody's mind. It's just like, where's that vodka from or something,
Right.
Then people will sit there, because I have, even on my desk here, I have stacks of Remax cards from other Remax agents and stuff that have given, and people send me different things, and I'm not sure if you guys can see this. The guy took the Remax and he put badass on it, and he sent me some of the stickers and stuff. So it just, some of these people, they come up with, because this one, it's It's actually, it says Remax with veteran on it because this guy, because I'm in a Remax veteran group. So they have the Remax and then you have the badass. But this guy also was a paratrooper. So he has a logo on his shirt with the Remax logo and he has an airborne tab over top of it. And then he has an American flag on his shirt. And he wears these shirts everywhere he goes and he gets a lot of business. Plus his truck is all lettered up with veteran stuff on there besides the Remax. So he goes, people stop me all the time saying, hey, come list my house.
Yep. Good. Thank you. The last thing I want to bring up before I get some thoughts from my dad in improving the business is Mike Ferry told us a long time ago, selling is not telling. Selling is listening and asking great questions. And I just wanted to point that out, that if you want to improve your business, stop telling and start listening. Start listening to the situation that your client has, understand their situation, and ask great questions so you can get to the bottom of what their needs really are and how you can solve their problem and get them to their next destination. So, as far as improving your business, I think that is one of the most important things, that, like we said, the skills and all those other things, but listening and asking great questions is a very, very important way to improve your business. Dad, anything you can think of or would like to bring up with regards to improving your business for this year?
There's a couple of thoughts that I have, Tim. First of all, I want to commend Bob and Morgan and all the people on this call that have shared their niche with us. You see, they have been around long enough and they have done, I call it their stick, and they do it every day. One of the things that I heard on this call that made me smile was a close from the insurance companies that I was taught in the very first job I ever had with John Hancock Life Insurance Company. And that was the never-ending change question at the end of a sale. So when you finish getting a listing or you finish getting a sale, if you want more business, a common trick is, I'm going to ask you for a favor. And the favor being, who do you know that might be interested in buying or selling a home? Can you give me 3 names that possibility may come up? I ask that question on every sale as part of my training of life. It should be part of your training of life, that you always ask. And I've heard it with Bob. I heard it with Morgan. You're in these places and you're seeing these people and you're surrounding yourself with great people. You ask the question, you might get an answer that makes you smile. But that's the sophistication of the business once you've arrived at a master salesperson. But before you get there, you have to have the basics. The basics have got to be your mindset. We talked a little bit about this today. What are you doing to bombard your mindset with positive thoughts that you guys can go out there day after day and do what you need to do? Now, I'm not talking about the average person, because the average person won't do what I'm going to talk about next. But the above average person will do it because they want to get better. It's not just the money. You want to be the top of your profession. And to be the top, you have got to put forth the effort. How many of you people on this call every day bombard your subconscious mind? That's the bugger that says, Oh, let's go out and have a drink. We don't need to work today. Oh, let's go over here and watch this football game. We don't need to work today. Let's go buy a dress. We don't need to work today. That's that bad subconscious mind saying to you, I'm going to be lazy. You have got to, every day of your life, if you really want to be great, you have got to say to yourself, I am, I am. And you always talk in the present. It's never I will, it's always I am. Because that present tense makes you go to action. That action has to be, I am going to get an appointment. You know, I am going to write a contract today. I am going to get a listing. I am going to make my contact call today. How many of you do that to yourself every day? You've all found your niche, but if you want to be better, I listened to Grant Cardone the other day. He always talks about you can be 10 times better than what you are. He calls it 10x. If you want to 10x yourself, then you've got to do different things than you're doing now. Um, that's my major thought for today. I love to share with everybody, and I love to have everybody in this call start writing down what they're going to do every day and how they're going to do it. Because when you do that and you see it for yourself, that little bad guy that's up there in the top of your head that tells you not to do something, you can get him out of there. And you need to get him out of there if you really want to be successful in this business. It's a great call. Everybody, thank you for your participation. I really, really enjoyed listening. Thanks, Tim.
Yep. Other than that, Brooks, anything you want to deliver as far as from the younger perspective of what you could do to help improve your business?
I don't know if this is from a younger perspective. I've obviously had great mentors over the year and kind of been born and bred into a old school approach. But to me, the killer of improvement is complacency. And it's easy to get comfortable where you're at. You might have had a successful year and you get comfortable with that and you just kind of cruise along. But like you said, it's important to dream big. And maybe it's not about the money. Maybe it's trying to help more people, using your gift, your knowledge, your expertise to benefit the people. But you constantly have to be analyzing your business, trying to make tweaks, improvements, seeing where you can do things differently to help grow. But don't just sit back and coast. You gotta get after it and put the grind in every day and make changes.
Sounds good. Then Bobby Stevens, if you want to tell us to
Let's go to work.
sounds good. We'll see you next week. Yeah.
See you guys.